What is going on, Skull family? I'm Kyle.
I'm Darin.
And this is the Purple Dopes with Hopes podcast. Darin, Sam Darnold is a Super Bowl champion. He did it.
He did it. Good for Sam. Good for Sam.
You know, that's where I think we fall as Vikings fans. Good for Sam Darnold.
Sam's gain isn't our loss.
Yeah. Fair enough. We're going to talk a lot about that, but we want to welcome in all of the Purple Dubs with Hopes podcast listeners. My friend Darin and I are part of the Let's Skull Network. We love our Minnesota Vikings so much that we put ourselves through pain and misery every single NFL season. So if you are finding us on YouTube, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. Darin, over 200 now.
Let's go.
Every single week, we appreciate those people who take time to click subscribe to our channel, and we are up over 200. So shout out to you. Shout out to you subs. If you are watching on YouTube, please drop in the comments a skull. Let's go on to 300. And then, of course, if you're listening on any of our podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Amazon, please make sure to follow our show and then give us a rating and review. We always love to hear kind of feedback from the podcast as well as feedback from the YouTube. So, Darin, let's just jump into it. You're watching Sam Darnold, our quarterback last season, beat the New England Patriots 29-13 and hold up the Super Bowl trophy. Just what thoughts go through your head as you're watching that unravel in the Super Bowl?
I mean, first thought was what a terrible game, but
yes, unexciting. I would agree.
I mean, again, this isn't a knock on Sam, but he wasn't asked to do what he was asked to do with the Vikings. Like last year, the Vikings needed Sam to carry us, and Seattle didn't. And that's not saying he didn't carry them like the NFC Championship game. Of course, he played well. But in the Super Bowl, again, the game was so boring, but you're watching it, you're like, if Sam Darnold doesn't turn the ball over, the Seahawks are going to win.
Absolutely.
Like, bottom line, he doesn't need to score touchdowns. He needs to not turn it over. And that's what he did. And he hit a couple of good throws and just did what he had to win the Super Bowl. So good for Sam. But I'll stand by what we've said before. I don't think we win the Super Bowl with Sam Darnold this year. I think we make the playoffs. Maybe have a win or two in the playoffs, but I don't think we win the Super Bowl with them. Seattle's defense was next level this year.
As I'm watching that game, and I agree. I mean, not the most exciting Super Bowl to watch. I mean, if you're a Seahawks fan, sure, I know you're loving every single minute of it, just like you loved every single minute when they beat the Broncos that year, 54-3 or whatever it was. But to me, like, they leaned heavy on the run game the entire first half. Kenneth Walker was the MVP, and he should have been. I mean, really, he was the bulk offense of that team for 3 straight quarters.
He had like a 50-yard touchdown they called back.
I know. That, I mean, if that would have hit it, I mean, solidified him probably a big money payday. But, you know, they lean on him the entire game. The throws that Sam made were when New England was selling out on the run to stop the run because they thought that's what coming, which that's what Sam Darnold thrives in.
Yeah,
allowing him to be the manager, make those throws. He'll hit throws when guys are open, and he did. And then, as we've said before, like that Seahawks defense is just elite. I mean, they made Drake May look like Max Brosmer, which maybe, hey, let's give some credit to Max Brosmer a little bit. All right, you know, he had just as many. Well, I guess he had 4 INTs, and May had 3 turnovers. So. But you know, that to me that says a lot about that Seahawks D. That I'm not saying we stick Max Brosmer as quarterback number 1, but you know, maybe we throw a little bit of grace to Max Brosmer for taking on that Seahawks D for his first official start in the NFL. I just hope
absolutely.
So,
awesome environment there in Seattle. So maybe we were too hard on Max, but
if you go back to that Vikings game that we were at, like, I mean, the Seahawks leaned on the run, relied on their defense, and Sam made the throws that he needed to make. Turned the ball over a couple times. We just couldn't capitalize on them like New England scored a couple times there. But to me, I think that, you know, Seattle was the best team in the NFL, and they showed it on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, and I mean, they won, 9-10 in a row to end the season?
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a great run, played well, so... Yeah,
absolutely. Well, hey, I wanted to ask you about this one because I saw this shared after Sam Darnold won the Super Bowl, and it said Sam Darnold is the biggest mistake in Vikings history. And I want to get your thought on that what I mean, do you think that?
I mean, that's recency bias, right? Of course, people are going to be like, "Oh man, he won the Super Bowl. We should have kept him." And yeah, like the way it went this year, sure, it seems like we should have kept Sam. But I don't think we're actually going to have a firm answer to that question until we understand what we have in JJ McCarthy.
For sure.
So let's give it a few years and see what JJ develops into. But sure, like right now, it seems like we should have kept Sam. But I stand by, like, the ultimate goal is to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
We're not going to do that with Sam. So I don't know. Like, does that making the playoffs? Yeah, we all feel a little bit better if we're have a better season. It's more enjoyable to watch. But
yeah,
again, I don't think we win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and I mean, I go back to our Straight Skull last week, which if you're looking for a great conversation, Straight Skull, we had Jason Harmon on last week, and he brought that up as well. Like, no one is going to go to their grave as Vikings fans saying, I wish we would have won 3 playoff games. Like, in the end, the goal is the Super Bowl. And I think as Vikings fans, we need to realize we got to get there. We don't want to just keep, hopping into the playoffs, losing in the first round, hopping in the playoffs, maybe winning a divisional round, with Kirk in overtime and then getting slaughtered by the 49ers.
It's draft purgatory at that point. So
yeah, exactly. Like we want to make sure we're doing the best things that we can. And I feel like, we thought we were last year as Vikings fans, as Vikings ownership, we thought we had the pieces to be that team, and it just didn't happen. So, okay, back to the drawing board. Let's figure it out. But we know, especially now, like, it's not with Sam Darnold. Like, he's just not going to be the guy that's going to take us there. But I wanted to hear, like, Sam Darnold wins. Do you feel like that puts pressure on our Vikings ownership now, hearing from the fan base, hearing from the critics, that next season is now even more of a win now season for us?
I think we all want it to be. The problem is turning around a non-playoff team to a playoff team isn't like easy, or everyone would do it.
Yeah.
So obviously we got the draft and free agency coming up. I mean, we're what, 40 million over the cap, maybe more.
Yeah,
we're in a tough spot right now.
40.25 or something like that, I saw.
Yeah, we're in a tough spot. So I think we have a lot of talent on our team, and I think we could be a playoff team. But to be like what does win now mean? We have to win the Super Bowl next year. We have to make the playoffs. We have to win a game. Like, again, I think we should be a playoff team. Like, we would have been a playoff team this year if we had stability at our quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly think if JJ McCarthy is the quarterback the entire season, I do think we make the playoffs.
Same. Yep.
Yeah, 100%. I think we sneak in there. Yep. I don't know that we win a playoff game, but I think that we get in.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's exactly it. And so again, I don't know if it's hard for me because I don't actually look at Sam's Super Bowl victory as impacting the Vikings at all. Like, they're completely separate. He doesn't play for us. Again, good for Sam. We won a Super Bowl. Like, that's where I'm going to leave it, because I just don't think it matters.
Yeah.
And for the fans that are saying this, because of Sam winning a Super Bowl, we have to do X, like, no, like, it's not how it works.
I think I agree with you. I think we need to, as Vikings fans, like, look past the fact that Sam Darnold won a Super Bowl. Like, he's not our quarterback. He wasn't our guy. We made that decision at the beginning of the year. And we can be happy for Sam. We can cheer for Sam.
Absolutely.
But we need to build this team around A, JJ McCarthy, or B, if they're going a different direction, build it around that guy. Which I'm still on the let's see what JJ McCarthy's got. I said something yesterday. I said something yesterday on YouTube. I made a short about it. Like, look, everyone wrote Sam Darnold off as a bust.
Yeah.
Like, and it wasn't just one season. I mean, we're talking Jets,
4 or
Carolina.
5.
Carolina. We're the 49ers as a backup. Like, he was not the guy until he became the guy. And for us to say a guy plays 10 games, injured his rookie season, so this is his true rookie season, to say that, well, he's no longer our guy. I mean, I just feel like we're losing sight of what good teams do to develop quarterbacks. And Sam Darnold's a prime example of that. Like, good system in San Francisco, but wasn't the starter. Great system in Minnesota, balls out. The perfect system in Seattle, wins the Super Bowl.
And I think we're just overreacting to the moment right now, which
for sure
is normal. But yeah, KOC didn't go from coach of the year to worst coach in the league over the course of a season. Like that just didn't happen. And again, having watched the all 22 view from a lot of the games, I've said this before, I'll say it again. Guys were open.
Yeah.
KOC called plays and guys were open, and we missed a lot of throws.
For sure.
So that's not on KOC. And again, should we try to run the ball more? Yeah, absolutely. Agree. And like figuring that part of the offense out, yes. Like I think there's improvements to be made. But to sit here and be like, the seat for KOC is unbelievably hot, and we need to win a playoff game, make it to the NFC Championship game. I don't know. Like that to me feels like it's just way too much for where we're at as a team. Like, I think, again, we're talented, and could we make a run to a championship? Absolutely. But for that to be like the expectation, or we're blowing the whole thing up, feels unrealistic to me right now.
Yeah, and I think that like over the last 2 weeks, I think they're making the right moves. I mean, aside from the cap, and we'll get into that discussion, but like you make sure we got Flores locked in. We let go of Kwesi. We brought in, the guy from Miami to be kind of work alongside KOC as the assistant head coach. I forget his name. What's his name? You remember his name?
Yeah.
Anyways,
I don't.
Y'all purple dubbers, you know who I'm talking about. Anyways, I think we're bringing in the right pieces right now to fix those big holes or gaps that we were faced with last season. And so
100%.
Yeah, I'm not discouraged at Sam doing it. But obviously as Vikings fans, I think we're always going to be overreactive. I think that's what sells on the internet. We know that it's like Jason said last week, is the highest of highs, they're throwing a chair through a wall, or the lowest of lows, you're throwing a chair through the wall, or the highest of highs, you're dancing on your kitchen table. Like that's Vikings fandom. Rarely do we, as Vikings fans, do we find ourselves like even keel in the middle. Like we're either an emotional wreck or we're in the best mood of our lives. So
I don't know. I think we're always an emotional wreck. Even
that's true.
You're in a good mood. Yeah.
Well, I saw this interview with Jared Allen, and they threw some, free agent quarterback names. I know we've kind of talked about this coming off season, like the importance of bringing a veteran in there, either to A, mentor JJ, or B, give him some competition and give us some confidence at him winning out. So I just want to throw some of these names at you, and I want to kind of get your thoughts as far as, if these guys would be beneficial or not to JJ and also to the Vikings. So this one I think is probably the longest shot, but Aaron Rodgers, what are your thoughts?
I'm pro this experiment for multiple reasons. One,
we hate the Packers.
The makeup of the team is similar to that of the 2009 team where we brought in Favre, where it seems like we're a quarterback away.
Yeah.
So I do like the idea of bringing Rodgers in. You stick it to Packers fans a little bit if you make a run. And so I like that aspect of it, but I don't know if it does anything to help McCarthy.
Yeah.
I think that's really just Rodgers coming in, trying one last rod, another ring.
For sure.
I don't think it does much for McCarthy.
Yeah.
So as a Vikings fan, I'm intrigued by it, but I understand it might actually have a detriment to JJ McCarthy if that happens.
Yeah, and I hear you on the feel for the 09, but also like that was a different quarterback position. I don't know if Rodgers is ready to come in and be the mentor, in this situation. I think he's still.
No, if he comes in, he's not a mentor, man.
Yeah.
He's coming in to be the guy. Like he's only coming to play for us if we're like a starter.
Yeah, and the ego of Aaron Rodgers is hard for me to take sometimes. So I think that he's coming in. He's looking to start.
A risk.
Yeah. So, all right, this next guy we got a little experience with, but Mr. Kirk Cousins.
Again, I don't like it. I feel like it's similar to the Rodgers thing where you bring in Cousins. One, Cousins is not coming in on a discount. So people are like, he'll come in and play for $1 million. No, you're going to have to sign him for 20, 30 million.
Yep.
Like, he's not going to give you a discount. So
Kirk knows how to get his money.
I mean, he's the best at it. So you're not getting him at a discount. Again, the mentorship aspect doesn't really feel like he would do that. Like, I think Kirk's a good dude.
I agree.
And he'd do a better job than Rodgers. But I also think, again, Kirk's not coming here unless you're the guy.
Yeah.
Kirk's not coming here to be like, I'm competing with JJ. Like, no, he's coming here to be the quarterback. And again, I think if Kirk Cousins came in, played terribly, they benched him. Yeah, he'd probably try to help out JJ McCarthy. Again, I think he's a good dude and a good teammate, but
agree.
It doesn't do much for me. Like I want to steer clear of that route.
Yeah, and I'm in my mind, I just think of like Kirk is gonna get his money. He always does. Like he's got the best negotiating team in the football history, and for a team that's already strapped on the cap, I just think I love Kirk. I love who he was when he was a Viking. I thought he was a perfect quarterback for our team. But like my biggest thing is the paycheck that he's going to need to come be that role. And I still think he wants to be a starter. I think Rodgers still wants to be a starter. And, coming from a guy who's experienced like an Achilles injury, like it's a tough injury to come back from. And I don't know that we've fully seen those guys like as their old selves. I just think
we never will. That's just it. I mean, Father Time's undefeated.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. What about Geno Smith?
Nah, doesn't do much for me. Again, he's had recent success, at least with Seattle. Didn't go great with the Raiders last year.
Not at all. I saw something on Geno online, and it said nothing like your team winning your former team winning the Super Bowl and the team you signed with getting the number 1 draft pick. There's nothing more Geno Smith than that.
And I do think like you could bring in Geno and be like, look, man, like you're the backup, but we'll let you compete for the job, but doesn't do a lot for me. I just, if he wins the starter, I'm not excited. You know what I mean? Like he's just not a guy that excites me.
Once again, it's another one of those like just gap years for us, as Vikings fans, where
he's certainly he's a better backup than we had this year, sure. But it doesn't do anything to excite me.
For sure. Yeah. What about Malik Willis?
That one's intriguing.
I would
he's
agree.
Younger. You've seen what he's done in flashes with the Packers playing the quarterback. He reminds me a little too much of Josh Dobbs. Now, I think he's more talented when it comes to like his ability to read a defense and throw a ball.
Yeah.
Or, the pastronaut was really just, he's going to take the ball, run it, try to make big plays.
Yep.
I don't think he was doing it in the flow of the offense. So
Shout out to Josh Jobs, man. He made it fun for us. He gave us something to root for.
A couple of good games there, but just felt like I think Willis can operate within the offense better than Dobbs could, but there's a little bit of Dobbs maybe to him. Yeah. That being said, I would be excited if they brought in Malik Willis. Again, for me, a lot of this always is going to depend on the contract, though. If you're bringing him in at a massive contract, I'm less excited. But if you're like, and that's where, again, I think he's going to demand like a certain level of money that I don't think we're going to be willing to pay.
Yeah, and I don't know that we've seen enough. I know I was listening to Rap kind of talk about this the other day. He put a video out about it, and it's like I think teams that see enough of Malik Willis are going to figure out how to stop him. If there's just not enough tape out there, I think to quote Rap, there's not enough tape out there on the guy, for people to get a clear picture of who he is. I think he did have a string of games for the Packers that should have made him a consideration for other teams to go after. But I think once the film comes out, you get 10 to 20 games under your belts. I think teams are going to figure out kind of how to dial him in and stop him, unless maybe we're wrong here and he figures it out and learns to adjust. But I just think there's a system to his game that I think teams are going to figure out at some point.
Totally agree.
All right, last two here. Tua.
Pass.
Because he can't pass? A concussion test or what?
He just, again, he had some good years in Miami, but
for sure
he got Waddle and Tyreek Hill as your receivers.
And they had a great running system there.
Great running back. Plus bringing in Tua with Flores in the building. I know
that's true.
That doesn't do much for me, so.
Yeah, I'm interested on this, Tua's name getting thrown out there. I feel like Miami is a system for him. But then of course they just fired their coach. So I don't know that Tua finds a place as a starter. in the NFL, and I don't know that he has the ability to be that guy that comes in and mentors and backs up. I just don't know that he's had that success to be able to come in and do that. Maybe in college, but at the pro position, I just don't know that he's seen it. Last one here, which I'm seeing a lot of this, Kyler Murray.
That's the one that I would be excited about. He is the one of all those guys where it's like superstar,
for
big
sure.
Playmaker. Again, I don't want to give up draft capital for Kyler Murray, but if they didn't have to do that, let's say he gets released by the Cardinals and we can bring him in. It would be super exciting. Like he's got the tools, he's got the legs. It'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean, super athletic, super talented, has a cannon of an arm.
Still young too, only 28.
Yeah, I think it would be fun to see what KOC could do with a guy like Kyler. But my biggest thing is like we still got JJ on his rookie contract.
Absolutely.
And there's parts of Kyler's game that I see in JJ already. That ability to escape, the mobility. Kyler has a cannon of an arm, and it'd be so fun to watch him throw balls to Justin Jefferson in the end zone. But I think that for me, I think we got two similar guys there in Kyler and JJ. And I think we can have JJ a lot cheaper than we can have Kyler. But
100%. And then there's the other thing, like we touched on this last week with Jason, but he made the comment, you're going to have a couple of times a game where Kyler's scrambling, turning around in the backfield, and he's just going to plant a foot, turn, and huck the ball up in the air.
Yeah.
And it might just be right to the other team. Like,
for
as
sure.
Vikings fans, we experienced that playing.
Yeah, 100%.
Feels like that's the risk you have with Kyler.
But we also have the advantage of J.J. McCarthy can just catch those, or not, Justin Jefferson can just catch those balls. So that would be kind of fun to watch in some moments. Justin Jefferson just going up and do something amazing. Justin Jefferson.
I mean, again, if that's the direction they want to go, I'm on board. I'm excited. Like that's the one for me. That's like, okay, like let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely. But man, I'm just still purple dumpers. I'm just still like, JJ McCarthy was the plan, and let's not continue to run away from this thing. But let's see how the free agency season works out.
Absolutely.
I know we're emotional Vikings fans. I know we're feeling it with Sam holding up that Super Bowl trophy, but there is a process here to developing a young quarterback, and JJ McCarthy is still super young.
I'm still adding JJ McCarthy stock to my portfolio.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's chat a little bit. You mentioned it a little bit, man. We are so far over the cap coming into this offseason. There is a couple moves that I noted that I think could, give us and get us a little bit closer to not being so astronomically over this cap thing. I think Ryan Kelly is probably done.
Yep.
Which that is a huge chunk of a contract.
Hopefully he just retires too.
Yeah, and I'm guessing I'm guessing that's probably going to be his choice. I would hope, based on just how things went, but you never know. So Ryan Kelly, huge chunk there. The second one, Aaron Jones, another big piece to another big contract. Aging running back, and I'm wondering if we could just go out and get a guy a little bit cheaper that's going to play the same role as Aaron Jones. However, I think his leadership, I think his attitude,
I love Aaron Jones. For what he brings to the table, though, I just feels like we need to probably move on from him. Like just
and we saw, and we saw it last season. Like those 30-year-old bodies, they start breaking down. Yeah, and those little injuries.
He's been hurt multiple games each of the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, and those little injuries in your 20s are much bigger injuries in your 30s. Yeah, so we know that for sure. And the last one here, TJ Hawkinson.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on letting TJ go?
Yeah, you have to. He just doesn't bring to the table what he did when we first traded for him. Like that injury that he sustained that second year, like that just he's never been the same since. So feels like, again, I love TJ Hawkinson. I'm fine bringing him back on like a reduced contract if he's willing to renegotiate and take less money, but for what he's due to make, you gotta let him go. And if he feels like he wants to go catch on somewhere else and try to make another big score in free agency, good for him. But minimal catches and whatnot last year. So it feels like we're better off moving on.
Well, and I think we brought TJ Hawkinson in to do what he did, big plays, touchdowns, be a big body in the end zone. And for me, man, I'd rather see a guy that can block rather than catch right now, because we need to get some extra protection on there for JJ. We got the receiver core that I feel like, can make those big catches for us, where a blocking tight end that can go out in the flats and make catches, might be a better play for the Minnesota Vikings offense this next season.
Yeah, 100%.
No. Cool. Well, the Vikings did bring in Matt Thomas. You text me about this guy, and I had to look him up a little bit, but he's kind of going to be working with the front office alongside with our interim GM. What are your thoughts on this guy, Matt Thomas, coming in for the Vikings?
Yeah, obviously excited. Just coming from Seattle, being under John Schneider for that long. And Schneider being one of the best in the business. I think it's a good guy to bring in, get in the building. Specializes in the salary cap, which is interesting because Rob Brzezinski also kind of a cap specialist. So I think that's good to have two guys in-house right now that know the cap and ways to kind of make moves, being that we're 40 million over the cap. So I think that's huge to have that in-house. And then I'm just kind of curious how it'll end up freeing up Brzezinski a little bit to maybe focus a little bit more on personnel and talent.
Yeah.
Which, again, I don't know, that historically hasn't been his bread and butter, but again, maybe that's something he's going to focus more on now that he's in that more of a GM role.
For sure.
And, again, if he hits it out of the park in free agency and seems to have a good draft class, like he might just be the guy. Yeah. So I think he knows like this is his chance to be the guy. And I think bringing in a guy like Matt Thomas kind of gives him more freedom to kind of stretch his wings and look at the talent portion of this.
Well, and I mean, you got a guy in there who's an interim GM, and anytime you can bring in support from a guy who's new to a position, I think is only going to be beneficial, number one, to that guy, but to the organization that they're representing. And so a guy, who has been deemed, as I've been reading about him, as this salary cap guru. It seems like that's what we need. We need a guy who can work and finagle the cap a little bit, free us up some money so we can go out there and have some fun in free agency and or the draft. So
get creative. And I mean, really, I think what they're probably going to have to do is try to take some of the money that we're paying out to guys like Darrisaw, Jefferson, some of these bigger deals, and like figure out where to stash that money so that we're able to go out. Maybe, I don't know if we like push it off like way to the back end. Again, I don't know how these salary cap gymnastics work, but it feels like they're going to have to move some money around, and then you're just going to have a good draft class. Otherwise, at some point, you're going to pay the piper.
And here's the deal. Like, to me, I see salary cap, they're going to figure it out. Like, those guys know how to move and distribute money to make it all work out in the end. Sure. So I'm not worried about that, concern for the Vikings. I do think there are some players that we need to probably move on from, but I think there's a lot of restructuring, renegotiating that can be done. Yep. And I think a lot of those guys that I saw on the list of renegotiations, they're going to be down, because I think that they're bought in. They want to be a part of either the Flores or the KOC system. And so I'm not super concerned about that. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into our Purple Dope Hopes here. So our Purple Dope Hopes are brought to you by 612Tees, great Minnesota-based apparel company. A lot of Wolves stuff, which is kind of fun right now on the website. So use Purple Dopes 25. It doesn't have to be Viking stuff, and get 25% off your first order. So as we move forward, 1 week removed from the NFL season, what are your current hopes for our Minnesota Vikings?
I mean, my hopes right now are just having a strong draft class. I hope, especially in the first few rounds, we're just taking the best player available. Yeah. We need talent on the team, and I don't know if the position really matters. So I hope that the draft is scouted well, and I hope that we just take the best player available, and I hope that we hit, because we have not hit on draft picks in a few years, and it would be great to have like a solid draft class that we can get some starters out of.
Well, I think, there's one reason we haven't hit, and he is no longer in the building. So I think my hopes rest in KOC and Brian Flores having the the bigger role
Yep.
in that draft and talent scouting. I just think this is their year. This is their time. We've kind of cleared the space for them to be the decision makers. And I think the interim GM and Matt Thomas are going to be supportive of them, because I think this is their opportunity to kind of show what they can do as offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, but as the heads of this Minnesota Vikings team moving forward. So definitely. It rests in KOC, who I've never wavered. I still trust in KOC 100%. So
absolutely,
it's in your hands now. The opportunity for you to succeed are at your picking. So let's go, Kevin.
100%.
All right. Well, we're going to finish it out here. I was looking at some of the Vikings top players of the different decades. And one of the decades that I really feel like gets forgotten, aside from the 2009 team, is those mid 2000s Vikings. Like, I feel like it just gets overlooked a lot of time. So what I got 5 guys from the top 25 list of Vikings from 2000 to 2010. And I just want you to give me, a memory, a thought of what you think about this player. And who knows, my thoughts is one of these guys is going to be tuning into the Purple Doves with Hoes podcast, and they're going to be like, dude, these guys show me love. Like, let me come talk to these guys about my time with the Vikings. So if you hear your name, Vikings legends, please, hit me up. Email's in the description. We're on Twitter. You can message us through YouTube, whatever it is. So, all right, this first guy, he 90s, but came into the 2000s as well. But he was our running back, Robert Smith. What are your thoughts thinking back on Robert Smith?
I mean, Robert Smith is like core memory of Vikings running back. Like he was the guy when I was growing up watching the Vikings. Like so I'd say he's honestly the first. Like, I should say I don't remember the other running backs, but he's the one when you think Vikings running back, for me, even more so than Adrian Peterson, is Robert Smith.
Yeah.
Like, just and dynamic player, could catch, could run, could block.
100%.
Just like a perfect running back for that 98 team.
Yeah. I think of Robert Smith as the OG Christian McCaffrey. Like, I just think he was before his time a little bit as a running back, because that was in the time of, ground and pound. Jerome Bettis handed up the middle. Let's run it, 3 times in a row. For me, like, he was a true hybrid running back. He could catch, he could run, he was shifty. I know that Barry Sanders gets a lot of that, credit of being that guy, but Robert Smith was right alongside him as far as the numbers and the ability to run, catch, and block. And so,
very underrated running back in the history.
Yeah. I'd say. Oh, for sure. Yeah. And I mean, I think he was just kind of before his time. Because I think a guy like Robert Smith gets in the league today. We see it time and time again on teams. The teams that are past McCaffrey, Gibbs. We see these guys doing it. So, all right, this next guy, we got to show some love to the lineman, but Matt Burke, center.
Matt Burke, I mean, again, you look at the problems we've had with center over the last 5 to 10 years. I would love to have Matt Burke as center. Sure. Just like stabilizing force there. Minnesota guy. Like, what's nothing to not like about Matt Burke? Like, just was outstanding playing center for the Vikings.
My thought, I mean, you said it right there. He's Minnesota based. Like, I remember all good things that were happening within the Minnesota community. Matt Burke's name was always attached to that, as far as, the NFL giving back, the NFL Man of the Year, the NFL, I'm trying to think of when we were younger, what it was. It wasn't like the NFL 50, but it was like some sort of like kickoff or pump pass kick or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
But, he was just always the name that you heard from the Vikings. So just super community driven, great leader, and then just a great player, great center. So, all right, this next guy we mentioned last week with Jason, but Sidney Rice.
I mean, again, I one hit wonder, I guess. Like, he had that one season. I mean, I love me some Sidney Rice, but I remember being excited when we drafted him. But he just never quite lived up to what you thought he'd be. That he was like 6'4", like just this big guy, that
big body,
could jump. Just felt like, why isn't he doing more? And then we bring in Favre and, lights it up. He's an all-pro, gets paid in Seattle the following year, and just never really does anything else. So,
yeah.
Again, props to Sidney Rice for being a solid dude in 09, because, man, did he light it up that year.
Oh, my gosh. I think if you look back at the highlights from that season, it seems like Sidney Rice scored 60 touchdowns that year. Like, you watched, like, every single highlight that they show is Brett Favre chucking the ball to Sidney Rice, making plays.
Shades of Randy Moss of 98, where you're just throwing it up to him. I mean,
that playoff run that he had in 09, I mean, he was I think that's an underrated, like, wide receiver run I guess if we would have went to the Super Bowl, it would have been different that year. But he was literally, he scored every time he touched the ball, it seemed like. Like you said, shades of Randy Moss from 1998. All right, next guy here, Jim Kleinsasser.
Kleinsasser, like, just, again, Vikings legend, man. Like, he was the first version of CJ Ham, right? Like, comes out of North Dakota. Just this, I remember seeing his college highlights where he's like, this 270-pound, like, tight end or fullback who's outrunning guys to score touchdowns, and different role with the Vikings, more of a blocker. But, man, like, that guy was as solid as it got, like, just a great blocker. And again, a couple of 1-yard dives for touchdowns.
Yep. You loved it when he got in the end zone.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Just a true football player, like, did what needed to be done to put his team in position to win the game. And just as rugged and mountain man as they come out there, you think, like, he's just chopping wood after games. I don't know what he's doing, but just, man, that guy just had just big heart, hard worker, and just did what needed to be done out there. Like, was never looking for his name. Like, when he got a score, it was great, but was never looking for that for himself.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. All right, last one here. He gets on with Paul Allen, and I appreciate his takes, but Chad Greenaway.
Oh my gosh, Greenway, just legend, man. Like, just absolutely love Chad Greenway. He was a great player. Again, very underrated, I'd say. Like, he's not gonna be a Hall of Famer, but, like, man, was that guy just like a dude when he played for the Vikings, like, just a solid linebacker. Just absolutely love Chad Greenway and just what he meant. It still means to, like, the Twin Cities community and just a all around, legendary Viking.
Yeah. My thing is, you can't coach players to play hard all the time. Like, that's just ingrained in him. And to me, he went all out, all or nothing every single time he was on the field. And I loved him. He had great nose for the ball. Always found himself in the right position to make the play, make the tackle. And just, I love him now. Just listen to him. He has a great eye for the game, sees things differently from the defensive mindset. And I just loved watching him flying around out there. I mean, it gives hopes for those guys who are kind of the underrated guys. You're like,
played his whole career at the Vikings too. So
exactly.
Cool that's pretty guy sweet. Like that, where you kind of like Harry, where you just stuck around for the whole thing.
And then he's continuing to stick around with the Vikings, as he does his analyst stuff and meeting with Paul Allen's on Fridays. And so,
for sure.
What do they call this segment on Fridays? Friday Feast. There we go.
Friday Football Feast.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. I knew it had a catchy thing. I had to get it in my brain. So, cool. All right, man. Well, we have hit the end. If you are still watching, we appreciate it, and we would appreciate you dropping in the comments if you're on YouTube some of those Vikings legends from the 2000s that you loved. Maybe there's a guy that we didn't mention there that you're like, this guy needs to get shouted out. Please drop them in the comments, and please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as follow us on any of our podcast platforms. Make sure you rate and review our show. Darin, we're going to bring another episode of Straight Skull next week. We're going to try to mix those in. We're going to bring another awesome Vikings fan to chat Vikings with. So
can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. So Vikings fans, always remember, we skull, you skull, we all skull together. We'll catch you guys next week.
Skull.